When you are in a house with a client, do not sell the house. Please hit that subscribe button down below so that you get more updates and videos from me here in the future. Hello, I'm Josh Arantia with Country Real Estate here in Tehachapi, California, coming to you from my wine room where I like to spend a lot of my time thinking about real estate here in the Tehachapi area while I drink some fantastic wines. Empathy is a Gary Vaynerchuk wine. Gary Vaynerchuk, well known for his inspirational speeches. You'll find him on YouTube a lot as a marketing guy, social network guru. But prior to all of that, Gary started with his dad with Wine Library in New Jersey, and he did a daily video blog on wine. And so first time I saw Gary was 2013 on a little YouTube show called The Daily Grape. And being a big wine guy that I am, I used to check out Gary, see the different kind of wines that he would taste. And he had an incredible knack, and still does, for placing flavors in his memory throughout his life, different experiences that we all share and have in common.
On the nose, old school 1987 at the chalkboard, take two erasers and go like this. Did you ever do that, Tyler? You did that as kids? Okay, at least you kids, good. Babin, you too, good. So every age group understands this. You took the two erasers and you did that, and the chalkiness came, and if you like open your mouth and got that, there's a lot of chalkiness.
Empathy is huge though, right? The ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, to really listen and understand what your needs are, not what our needs are. We're not in this business just to make money, just to make a paycheck. We're not, following the dollar signs, but rather we got into this business because we like taking care of people. We love that feeling of, handing over keys or saying, hey, your house is sold. Being able to analyze the situation, understand what somebody needs, come up with a game plan, give the service that people require and need and expect. Actually, we try to exceed that all the time. But then, being able to get them to the finish line to fulfill that goal. And the one way to do that is by, being empathetic with their needs, what they're looking for, their desires, like we said, and understanding and listening. Listen to people. It's a simple thing, but I think it's probably one of the least used methods out there in not just real estate, but in business in general, with customer service. We get so on that roll, on that track of, I got to be a problem solver, got to provide a solution. And sometimes it's just about listening, understanding where somebody's coming from, finding a point of reference to make yourself relatable to them, and then coming up with a solution and putting together a game plan and getting to the finish line together. So on my cheat sheet card here, it talks about the Empathy wine. This is a red wine blend from Gary Vaynerchuk's company, Empathy Wines. He does not have, this one is, this is a 2018, so he does have the vintage on here. We're getting grapes from Mendocino County, from Lake County, and from Lodi, California. So it's a combination, a blend of Petite Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon, Zinfandel, and Tempranillo. And the first thing I noticed when I tasted it, first of all, it's the very violet kind of blue, purple type of fruits. So things like plum, blueberries, blackberries, boysenberries. And the first thing I could definitely pick up off of this was the Petite Syrah was the predominant. And he has it listed here first, and typically when you look at a blend, the one that's listed first has the highest percentage. So this probably, obviously, is a majority Petite Syrah wine. You can definitely pick it up there. On the nose, pretty complex. I just actually picked up just a slight bit of like a cherry candy, almost like a cherry cough drop without the medicine aspect of it, like a cherry candy drop. It was really nice there. A little bit of earth, but not much. Mostly fruit. Now this one's been open for a little over an hour, so a lot of the big aromatics have kind of died off a little bit, but there's still a lot of blue fruit, and again, like blue to purple, blue or purple plum in there. First thing you notice when you swallow, the tannins, Petite Syrah, they're definitely there. Kind of creates that velvet tongue feeling, like you have just you can want to kind of just move your tongue through your mouth. It dries you up a touch. The finish is kind of long, kind of going down a little deep. There was definitely some fruit there. Excellent wine, very easy to drink. Those tannins are definitely there, but not in a bitter way, kind of more in just that mouthfeel, that texture that we talked about. So overall, I think when you buy a case, these are $20 a bottle. And this tastes, actually, I'd say probably $30 to $35 bottle of wine that you'd get at a typical wine shop. Or if you're here in the Tehachapi area, plug to my friends over at Veritas Wine Shop. So if you're coming to the Tehachapi area to look at real estate, a big must go to is Veritas Wine Bar, Truth in Wine, Veritas. That's on the main road coming in. You can't miss it, on Tucker, on the right side, on the west side of the road. And, small kitchen, best food. Some of the best food up here. It's one of my 1-2. I got a 1-2 punch up here in the Tehachapi area. As you can see, I like to eat, so that's no secret. But between Veritas, their small kitchen that puts out incredible grilled cheese sandwiches and flatbread pizzas. They have probably the best bacon-wrapped stuffed dates with, I think it's walnuts and cheese. Maybe it's gorgonzola in there. Fantastic. Those are a definite favorite. So I said one of my 1-2 punches. I'll save my other favorite for a different time. Veritas, a great place to get a good quality California wine. Actually, a lot of the wine that's in this room behind the camera that you can't see a lot of it's come from Veritas, not all of it, but a lot of it. Great wine club there, always a good wine selection. So there's my plug there for Empathy Wines, Veritas Wine Bar. And let's just get back to empathy here real quick. What we're trying to do in this industry here in the Tehachapi area, the Orontia real estate team, one of our big focuses is to kind of get away from that salesman aspect of doing business, right? So if anybody's ever seen the movie Glengarry Glen Ross, this famous scene.
A, B, C. A always B, B, C closing. Always be closing. Always be closing.
And I've heard a lot of real estate gurus. You can go around on the internet, and a lot of the coaches and the people that a lot of these young agents that are getting into the industry, even some of the experienced agents, they're watching these people, and they're always putting that emphasis and force on closing. Always be closing. Always making sure the conversation comes back to closing. When you take somebody through a house, take them back to the room that they hung out in the most, and that's where you want to drop the closing line. That's where you go for the jugular, right? So we definitely have 100% moved away from that mentality. So with our team, when I talk to the agents that work with us, the number one thing we talk about is do not sell houses. And they kind of look at me with a perplexed look on their face. What do you mean don't sell houses? I'm like, when you are in a house with a client, do not sell the house, right? It sounds counterintuitive. How do I make any money? How am I going to make a living? And so the important thing to note here that we talk about is, you're selling you. So when you come to work with me as a buyer or a seller, it's my job to build trust with you through empathy, through compassion, but through integrity, through communication. I'm selling you on me. Therefore, especially in the case of a buyer, whether it's the house we're in now, the house we're in tomorrow, or the house we're in next year, when you're ready to buy a house, you're going to buy that house with me because we've established that relationship. So that's the key to being successful in this industry that's so full of cutthroat people that are, always looking for the close, that are putting the dollar and the commission in front of the client's needs. Take the time, show you the homes. Now my job is not to show you every home that's on the market, because there are a lot of homes that just aren't right. But if I'm listening to you, then it's my job to show you every home that's right for you. So I don't want to waste your time, waste sellers' time, waste other people's time, and we just narrowly focus in on those homes that are right for you. but then allow you to tell me, okay, now I'm ready to buy. This is the house. I can't tell you how many times the feedback from the people I've worked with has been, it was so great working with you because I never felt pressured, right? And that's I mean, who likes to go to buy a car, right? You walk on the lot and immediately the door opens and out comes the salesperson, and they all have the same opening line, and hey, how you doing? I'm so and so, and are you here to buy a car? What can I help you with? And they want to try to get you to sit inside of a car. They know as soon as you sit in a car, get your hands on the wheel, you're that much closer to the close. I mean, and it is our job. It really is our job to help you figure out where you're going, to help you narrow things down, and to create a safe space for you to buy a home, but to do it with a non-pressure, there's no reason to accelerate that process. You know when you're ready to buy. You know when you're ready to put that big down payment down, go get that big loan, and make what's most likely one of the larger purchases of your life. So I don't need to tell you. You need to tell me. So that's how we drive our training method, our style, based on listening to the client, based on listening to your needs and your wants and putting ours aside, and then making sure that we're doing everything we can to keep you in compliance, to protect your back, to lessen your liability, to mitigate your risk. That's our job as professionals, having the knowledge that we have, understanding the liabilities that are out there, and knowing how to navigate that. So those are the reasons why you want to hire a realtor. And real quick, just for those that don't know the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent, huge difference. So we actually are a part of an organization, the Realtor Organization. We're the Realtor Party, the California Association of Realtors, and we go through extra training. We're governed by a code of ethics, and that's the big thing there. So we have a standard of practice that we regulate each other with through our associations to make sure that we're acting ethically to the public, to our clients, and to other realtors. So that's really important to note that difference. You want to make sure you look for a realtor when you're looking for buying a home or when you're looking to sell a home. And keep a lookout for more videos in the future on all the wonderful reasons why to move to Tehachapi, California. And please do me a favor. I'm new at this. We're just getting started.